What's up guys, it's KOSDFF here, and today we're going to be reviewing the Scuf One by Scuf Gaming for Xbox One.
Near, far, wherever.
I legit just made out with this controller. Such an e-girl. Alright, well today we're going to be going over the 4 main innovations the Scuf One has to offer. Just a bit of a roadmap. We're going to be starting off by talking about the Scuf Precision thumbsticks, moving right along to the Scuf paddles, and then we'll really want to dive into the internal hair trigger and stop mechanism, and then of course we'll review the military grade Scuf grip. Absolutely serious business going on here. Alright, well to start off with, we really wanted to talk about probably my favorite new feature that the Scuf One has to offer. Is the Scuf Precision thumbsticks. Now, as you can kind of see, I've opted for a long domed right stick and a regular concave left stick. And really I wanted to talk about, the advantages of having a longer thumbstick. Now, if you can kind of picture with me here, bear with me, the circumference of a normal Xbox One controller. If you were to kind of imagine a circle being drawn there, that's about the circumference. When you have a longer stick, your circumference and range of movement drastically increases. Now what does this do for you? This pretty much allows you to have just a tad bit more accuracy when you're shooting because you have more movement. You have more, you can actually move this in more ways than you can move this simply because it's longer, and you just have, if you try to think of the angles from the base to the top, you just have a larger range of movement, which allows you to hit, when I snipe, I'm usually shooting from really far away, and you're trying to hit the tiniest little kind of margins, and having a longer thumbstick allows you, just more control over that. And you can tell I went for the domed top. As a sniper and as someone that, does a lot of long range shooting, I believe that the domed top on your right thumbstick just provides you just even more accuracy. And obviously I've opted for a regular size concave on the left because you're just pushing that that thumbstick around to move your player. Now probably if you were to ask most pro players what their favorite part about the Scuf Precision stick is, in comparison to the Xbox One Scuf or the Xbox One default controller, it's just the circumference and the size of the actual thumbstick top. It's a little bit larger than the normal Xbox One controller. Which is nice because one of the complaints you would hear mainly from the pros is just how small the top of the thumbsticks are, and it's just the fingers are slipping off, and they're just used to having a bigger thumbstick. Well, the Scuf Precision sticks offer that just in an incredible way. And they also have the Scuf symbol there that provides you with just a little bit more grip on your thumbs. And here's another little tip. If you use control freaks like me, and if you are, use the promo code KOSDFF to get 10% off. The Xbox 360 control freaks fit perfectly on the Scuf Precision sticks. So if you're going to go use control freaks, you don't get the Xbox One control freaks. Get the 360 control freaks, and they will fit perfectly on your Precision Scuf sticks for your Scuf One. And that's beefy. That's God style. Look how tall that's thumbstick. That is an amazing amount of movement. So just to give you a little hint, just in case you really like your control freaks, and you just wanted added length to your thumbsticks, the 360 control freaks work perfectly. All right, to get right to the next thing, we're going to talk about the paddles. Now this is probably the most eye-catching, the main feature of a Scuf controller being that if you look through all gaming controllers throughout time, besides the N64 controller that had the Z trigger on the back, most of the time, all the buttons and all your interaction with your controller is on the front or the top, leaving your 6 fingers actually, back here doing nothing but holding the controller. Now, as you can tell from the paddles, whenever you're jumping or going prone, your finger has to leave the thumbstick to push those buttons. And when you're in a fight or flight kind of mode, whereas that half a second is the difference between you dying or getting the kill or capping the objective, the ability of having your thumb never leave this, and you can actually use the paddles to do so, this allows you an incredible more amount of control over your player, while still hitting all the buttons and doing everything you want. So if you want to reload, jump, go prone, your thumb never has to leave this thumbstick, obviously allowing you a lot more control over your aim while doing the movements of jumping and going prone. So a lot of you guys have heard of the scuff jump. Believe it or not, that is an incredibly useful tactic, simply because everyone can jump and shoot. And if you're aiming down a hallway and you jump, you're just shooting straight. There's probably not a whole lot of need to actually have your thumb on there. You're just jumping over and shooting. So you're hitting that and then shooting at the same time. Well, what the the paddles allow you to do is you never have to move your thumbstick or move your finger off the thumbstick. So you can jump around corners, you can jump in front of people, and retain your aim whilst moving. And if you're a drop shotter, the same applies. You can drop shot and never move your thumb off the controller, which is never relinquishing your aim or your accuracy to be able to move your player. Boom. So I've got A, B, X, and Y. Most players just opt for A and B, but I went with all four. I had only the A and B on my 360 Scuf, so I decided to beef it up and go with all four for this one. And it's really, I could go and talk about for days how the paddles can help your gameplay and increase your control over your player. But really, I suggest you check it out for yourself. You really have no idea the advantage and just I guess the how do you say? The strategic, ability to aim and maneuver your character at the same time is almost invaluable in a high arcade-style FPS where the movements and the shooting all happens really quickly, and you've got to react in a second's time or a split second's time. And the paddles allow you to just retain total control of your player whilst doing so. All right, the next thing I really want to get into is the internal hair trigger and stop mechanisms. Now, you've heard of this feature before with the trigger stops. From the 360 Scuf, and as you can tell, they're out there and they're removable. So if you're not playing FPS, you can take them off. But really, what a trigger stop allows you to do is allows you to hit the button with more repetitions in a shorter amount of time. And what do I mean by that? Here's an Xbox One controller, and as you can tell, it goes all the way down. I'm trying to get the right angle, all the way down to the base. Now, here's what a trigger stop or an internal trigger stop mechanism does in the Scuf One is it stops it about halfway. Now, what does that do? What does that mean to you? Now, if you're using a single shotgun or a pistol, a lot of the times when you're using your pistol, let's face it, you're switching to your secondary because you're in a panic mode, you've run out of ammo, you've missed your shots, or you're just trying to be a faster player because they've run away from you, so you're switching to your pistol to catch up to them. Now, what allows you to be able to shoot faster is just you're not wasting this right here. The amount of time it takes you to push this down, that extra little bit, and the fast repetition, mind you, so that time will add up, really allows you to shoot your gun much faster with the trigger stop. Now, the same goes for the Xbox 360. This is just an incredibly valuable feature, probably not so much for the PS3, or if you've ever played the PS3, the PS4, they shoot with the bumpers. The funny thing, about, I guess, FPS shooters and 360 is, okay, you want to use a trigger because you're shooting your gun. But really, you can't shoot your gun harder. So the actual, the movement, the extra movement you get out of the trigger is largely useless because it's only doing one thing. You can't shoot harder. You can just shoot faster. So what a trigger stop allows you to do is just hit it quicker because you're not wasting the time it takes to go all the way down and then all the way back up. So it stops it halfway, allowing you to shoot it. Now, if you're not an FPS gamer, or you're like a total nerd like me and you play more games than just FPSs, you might want to be able to adjust it. Now, this is something you can do. I'm trying to get up close to my camera. This is the actual trigger stop mechanism, and it's on both. And if you can kind of tell that there's a little pad there that stops the trigger. And if you can kind of see there's a little screw hole there, I'm looking at my camera, meaning that it's actually adjustable. So you can actually change it to your preference. Now, if you're opening up your Scuf One, it'll come with something like this. And it just kind of gives you a little tips on how to handle it. This little mini tiny Allen wrench here is the actual wrench you use to adjust your trigger. So if you take that off, you'll notice that it fits. Sorry, I have to look at it and do it, or I would just do this in front of you. All right, it actually fits right in there. And you can adjust a little pad there that's stopping the trigger from going all the way down. Oops. Stop the pad there from going the trigger, from the trigger going all the way down. So it's fully adjustable to your preference, and obviously you can, adjust it all the way to that it's not really stopping the trigger at all, to allow you to play games like Grand Theft Auto and different things like that. But you can mold it and change it to your preference, to meet your comfortability level and how much how fast you want to shoot. It's actually a really cool feature, and the fact that it's internal is really a stylish addition to this controller. Not that I didn't like the trigger stops on this, because it does look pretty cool, I will admit. but having it nice and sleek and all internal, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Alright, and lastly, I wanted to go over what they're calling the Scuf Military Grip. Now, I'm trying to get close enough to my camera to kind of just show you how much they have beefed this up. Now, this is a military grade grip. They actually went and hired someone, I guess, in their R&D department to just research military grips on weapons and different things that we use in our armed forces, and applied that to a Scuf controller. Now, I can kind of show you just kind of a visual example. If you're just playing a normal one, how you can just kind of slides off. There's nothing, there's no grooves. It's just a plain piece of plastic that you can just slide right off. When you're holding the Xbox One, you have all these bumps, all these triggers, and then when you're moving, hitting all these paddles and moving, going crazy as you would, having an extra amount of grip, especially right here and right here, obviously here and here as well. This allows you, well, this controller sticks to your hand, man. And if you have sweaty hands, and if you're going absolutely pub crazy in League Play or something like that, and you're just going absolutely ham, I would suggest using something called Gamer Grip, another product that Scuf Gaming offers, that you apply to your hands, and it basically reduces the perspiration from your hands, further, making your Scuf grip just the most elite thing ever. And not to mention, it looks cool. Let's just talk about how this controller looks now. Now, we've gone over some of the main innovations that the Scuf One has to offer, but not only that, it's a stylish company, so we're going to go after a couple things. Obviously, I'm rocking the TK Edition Scuf One. It's kind of hard to see because of the camera. Let me get it close enough. You can kind of see the guide button has an outline of the TK. Oh, come on. Can you see it? No, it's too bright. I almost want to turn off the controller. Can you see? Yeah, we'll do that. Let me turn this off so you can see it. Freaking webcam. There, now you can kind of see it. But there's the TK symbol, and you can get they come in all different team controllers and stuff like that. But of course, I had to rock the TK Scuf. You got a nice blue front paddle. It's nice and matted, so it feels really cool. Went with the all black buttons simply because it looks epic. Pretty cool. All right, and you also, you saw me take off, the grip just easily. They do come off. This is control, and they're just to show you, so you don't think I'm messing with you. The actual, default Xbox controller grips, they do come off. The same also applies. I take it off with my hands, I don't really need that tool for this one because I'm taking it off so much. But they come on and off, allowing you access to the trigger stop. And then later, I'm sure Scuf is going to be releasing some different grips. If you saw the Xbox ones or the Scuf One ad, they had some pro grips that are coming in soon, so you'll be able to get those and change them out and do all different types of stuff. But overall, this is just an epic piece of machinery you got here if you're, a gamer, especially if you're playing first-person shooters. Simply because, certain innovations just allow you just more control of your player. So if you want, you hear a lot of talk about modded controllers and all this junk. And, modded controllers, that's really when you're sitting there making your shooting faster, you have rapid fire and all this stuff. Really what a Scuf does, brass tacks. What it does is it allows you more control over your avatar in game, utilizing all your faculties in your hands. Mainly your fingers back here that are usually doing nothing now can control these 4 buttons up here, or 2 buttons, whatever you elect, so that you contain more control over your aim, which is in FPS gaming rather important. Plus, we have the grip, cool thumbsticks, a little more accuracy, a little bit more grip on your thumbs. And just a little more, I would just say a total control package over your player, really allowing you to, just expand your abilities. Now, this is coming from me personally, simply because I switched over the Xbox 360 Scuf and had to learn to use the paddles. Because if you get this controller, I swear to God, for the first week, you're still going to be using these buttons because you're so used to doing it. Really, what I did is I put a piece of tape over that and forced myself to use the paddles. And after about a week of getting your ass kicked, eventually you'll come to use these things just normally. And you will see instantly how much more control you have your player, in so many situations that you would have normally died for just lack of faculties, lack of the ability, now that you have that with this controller. So overall, I would highly recommend the Scuf One controller. Definitely go over there and use the promo code TK and get your discount. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm going to go play some Titanfall with this controller. Believe it or not, running around doing all that parkour with the paddles, Too much fun. Hope you guys enjoyed my Scuf review video, and wish us good luck at Champs. You guys have probably seen this video. I'm probably on a plane on my way to LA to go watch my boys compete in the biggest tournament of the year. Hope you guys enjoyed this video.